Welcome back, y'all, to part dos, 2 in English for you who don't know Espanol. If you haven't watched part 1, stop this video right here. Stop it. Stop. Go watch part 1. If you ain't watched part 1, just don't do it. Don't go into this video yet. I will link it below. So, that being said, let's jump into starting your home studio. Woohoo! We did all the stuff we needed. We did all the hard stuff. That was in video 1. Now we're ready to start our home studio. Cool. Congratulations. I am really proud of you for watching the first video and doing everything I said in it. Now, where would I start with starting a home studio? Honestly, you only need a wheel, you need a kiln, and you need a table, some shelves, and glazed knowledge. So, wheels is a dicey subject because there is hardly anything on the used market nowadays, because everyone's doing not what I said to do in video 1 and going out and buying a wheel the first second they can and starting. So the used market of wheels is dried up. Good luck. Whenever I started about 8 years ago, and I went to buy my first wheel, it was like 2 seconds, found one on Facebook Marketplace, wasn't trending yet, and boom, I had a wheel. Awesome. Today, a Brent wheel goes on Facebook Marketplace. $1,200 used. Gone. 20 minutes. Gone. No, I messaged someone about a Brent I wanted to buy like last year for a class. Excuse me. And I messaged that person 10 minutes. 20 minutes after they posted this thing. 10 freaking minutes. Gone. They said, sorry, I already had 20 inquiries about this already. This is because everybody's watching Great Pottery Throwdown. Everybody's watching the TikToks. Everybody's watching the shorts. Thank you for watching my content. And they get interested and they want a wheel and they buy it. Boom, gone. Sorry about it. You're gonna have to buy a wheel new, probably. You might find a deal. If you find a used Brent on Facebook Marketplace for under $1,200, buy that thing. If it's a C, B, model B, C, IEX, or blah, 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 pretty much any Brent, if you're finding it under $1,500, I'd go snag that. Maybe look up and see if you're not getting completely ripped off. If it looks like totally old and trash, don't. If you find a wheel or some stuff, you can go to my Instagram, shoot me a message of it and say, does this suck, Steven? And I'll be like, yes, it sucks. Or go buy that right now, please. Happy to help you out. But yeah, so, you know, you're probably gonna have to buy a wheel new. It is what it is. I had to buy a new wheel for my class and it was $980 and it's a Shimpo VL Lite. I'm gonna put it right here. Shimpo whatever Lite. That's a good one. It's used to be $600, $700. Now they're $900 because of inflation. Everybody wants to get into pottery. Nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people are getting into pottery without taking a class and doing all the things I said in video 1. If you don't do the stuff in video 1 and you go buy all these wheels, that's why the inflation is so high. It's because people aren't doing what I said in video 1 and they're just jumping right into it, and then voila, there's no wheels for any people who did the legit steps and want to buy a wheel. So it is what it is, inflation, you know. So $950 I think I paid for this thing. Pretty good wheel. If you once you get into like doing like 15, 20 pounds plus, it's probably gonna bog it down a bit, but you know, it's a good start. It'll probably last you years, and they're very light and you can move it around your new home studio. And another good option, of course, is pretty much any Shimpo, honestly, is a pretty good option. They got the Whisper is another great one. The Whisper, cool. Another one, good brand, pretty much any of their wheels are good, is Brent. They're kind of like the Apple of wheels and they're fantastic. So you got the model C and B, pretty common. I got an IEX, honestly a little weak. I would try to get a B or C. Those are pretty sweet and they're gonna last you forever. My mentor has one, he's had for 40 years, 30, 40 years, something like that. And it's great. A good wheel. Good. And some other options would be the, what is it? What is that thing called? The Clay Boss. The Clay Boss. Cheap, but okay. And you're probably gonna find one of those for $750-ish, $800 maybe. And they're okay. They're a little weak, but and when I say weak, their motors are not that strong. So once you get into doing more and more bigger things, you're probably gonna have a little trouble with that. So yeah, start with those brands, Shimpo, Brent, or the Clay Bosses. Clay Boss probably I would put it at number 3. Brent I would put it at number 1. And then the Shimpos I would put at number 2. But honestly it could be number 1 because they're a little cheaper than the Brents. A good Brent brand new is going to be a lot of times over $2,000. So, whew, you know, hope you did all the steps in step 1 before you go buy that. And yeah, so that's going to cover wheels. Yeah, just get those, get some bats. Learn to lift pots off the wheel, and don't rely on bats that much, but for plates and things like that, you're going to have to buy some bats. So bats usually run me like the square bats. This right here, the square bats are usually about $4 or $5 a piece. So every time I go into the clay supply, when I was building up my supply, I would just buy 2 or 3 at a time every time I went. Next thing you knew, I have like 30 of them. So those are good. And then plastic bats are good. They're plastic. They don't absorb much moisture. I like the wooden ones because they absorb a little bit, easier to pop off quicker. Yeah, so yeah, get some bats. Get some circular bats, get some square bats, get some wide bats if you're into platters already. And then we're on to kilns. So you probably want to get a kiln. You're gonna need a 220 outlet most likely, which is like what you hook up your dryers to, and you're probably gonna need 230 amp on your breaker for that thing, 60 amps total, most likely. And you have to make sure it's a single phase if you're in a home, because likely you don't live in a warehouse with 3-phase power. And don't go make the mistake that I did and buy a 3-phase kiln at a great deal, I might say. For $1,000, I got a $4,000 kiln. And you can't use it because you don't have the right power and you were dumb and didn't do the research. Don't be like me. Be like me. Don't be like me 8 years ago. Be like me today and do your research. And 1027 is a great kiln. It's pretty large. And then they have some other models list right here that are a little cheaper. These are Scuts, okay? Scuts are like the Apple of kilns, and they are fantastic. So get one of these if you have the cash to do so, or get a manual kiln like these with the dials and everything, and then those are fantastic as well. And I used one of those. I got it for $100, and it was like 35 years old and worked fantastically for like 3 years until I upgraded to a Scut 1027. Amazing. Yeah, so I would start with an old manual kiln, learn the switches, learn the cone system, and learn all that, and then move on to a bigger, nicer, computerized one when you are skillful enough for it. Now, if you have the money, go ahead and get a computerized kiln. Who cares, right? So you're gonna need kiln shelves too. When you go shopping for these things, see if they have a furniture kit. If not, you're gonna have to think and plan for buying $200, $300 worth of kiln shelves and stilts. So what else do you need? What else do you need? You need shelving. I would use like L bracket systems like these. Use some L brackets. Pretty nice, pretty nice. And I would not screw the boards on. Don't do that. Bad, bad, bad. Leave them unscrewed so you can go whoop, take that board off and take it over to your table and work on the pieces, put them back on the board and put them back on the shelf. It's much easier to move 20 pieces at a time than it is to move 1 piece at a time. Bad. What else do I got in here that you need? Glazes. Hopefully you did what I told you in video 1 and learned from someone how to mix your own glazes and get your own chemicals and do all that instead of having billion pints for $1 billion. Hopefully you did that, and you're gonna need some raw materials. Find a nice clear. Hopefully your mentor helped you with this. Find a nice clear and then start playing with oxides and stains to find some nice glazes. and find a place to store these 5-gallon buckets, because the 5-gallon buckets do take up space. So you're gonna need a nice bench too, a nice workbench, table, and I would recommend shelving under that like this. So you can put this stuff underneath the table. Bueno, bueno, bueno. I'd probably build your own if you can, or if you know someone who can build you one, have them do that. So we just went over a wheel. We went over the kiln. We went over having glazes. Hopefully you did what in video 1. And good solid work table and shelves. Honestly, that's all you need. All the other stuff is fluff. The tools, hopefully you did what I told you in video 1. Hopefully you did, and you know what tools you want. So don't go buy 50 tools. Find 10 that you like and use them. That's done. Amazing. All sorts of tools. Your mentor in the class that you took, they probably had every tool known to man in there, and you got to try them all out. And you kind of know, I like this shape of tool, I don't like this shape of tool. So I don't want to get too much into tools, because you're gonna need a rib, a sponge, a needle tool, a throwing stick to like clear out the bottoms. But honestly, you don't need much more than that. The rest is fluff. So yeah, get some nice shelving, get a nice table, get a nice wheel, get a decent older used kiln whenever you first start, and then move on to a computerized kiln. You even get a touchscreen one if you want. They have those nowadays. They're pretty sweet, 2024. And yeah, pottery hasn't changed much over the years, y'all. It's been done for thousands of years, so it really doesn't take much. Let me show y'all something I just came up with. Look at this mug. Isn't that cool? ADD moment. Oh yeah. So that's really all you need. Wheel, table, shelves, glazes, tools. You can get started. You really can get started with just that. Make sure your electrical is good for your kiln and plan for that. If you have a garage, try to get in a spot in your garage where it's next to the breaker box, right? You want to be next to the breaker box, because you want to run a really short line to that kiln, or it's going to get expensive fast. That's the last tip I could think to tell you. Good luck on starting your home studio. If you have any questions below, please ask me. I will be honest and let you know if it's a good or bad idea. Or if you don't want to listen to me, you just go ahead and do it anyways. Who cares? So, peace. I will see you. If you have any questions about good or bad equipment, message me on Instagram and say, Steven, does this wheel suck? And I'll be like, yeah, that wheel sucks, or that wheel is fantastic. Please go get it. It's rare. Blah, blah, blah. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.